We're on.
Okay. So you've met a strange servant of the Count last time, and learned that the bladed or hook-clawed apparatus that you encountered in the entry hall of the manse, and that slew your doctor friend, maybe wasn't as evil and monstrous as you first assumed,
Yes,
and
he was.
maybe the whole thing was just a slight misunderstanding. But at least the doctor's death, or rumors of his death, have been greatly exaggerated, as you found out when you went to the Church of Pharasma to pay for a minor miracle to bring him back from the boneyard, only to learn that he has never left. He it took the expertise of the dean of Lepidstadt University, and you're not sure that you fully understood the specifics of what he told you, what the doctor apparently accidentally did to himself. But it all seems to come down to the all these mutagens that he's been consuming and all these extracts turning his body into a large, how did the dean call it, capacitor,
Capacitor.
basically a vessel for lightning, since apparently in some academic circles lightning is the life giver, the divine spark, quite literally, that um, turns uh, a pile of organic matter into a sentient, um, intelligent creature. Lots of um, academic detail that most of it going over your head, to be frank. But all it took to bring the doctor back was indeed a slight jolt. If, however, that will be the case again, if he takes a fatal blow, remains to be seen, and the doctor does not seem to be too keen to find out.
I'm not in any hurry to repeat that experience.
But for now, he is back, albeit a little worse for wear and tear. Um, but he joined the group again, and you headed back to Schloss Karomark after preparing a little bit by doing some much needed shopping in town. And you um, walked back into the mansion to find another apparatus with those strange hooked claws, but in a much less unfortunate situation, pushed against the wall, wedged between the heavy dining room table and the outside wall of the building, communicating with him via a little blackboard that he uh, uses by scratching the writing into the surface, a actually quite unnerving way um, of communicating. Um, but it was able to tell you a great deal, not just about the layout of the mansion itself, um, but also about the beast, because apparently the beast has a brother, and that brother must have done something that got the beast very, very angry, and it rampaged through here and uh, made its way all the way up to the tower, where um, Emaírel's mind's eye spotted him, or what's left of him, at the base of the stairs that that lead all the way up to the lightning rod on the top of the tower. And with that revelation, we ended last session. So you're still in that large dining room, dining hall, vaulted ceiling, adorned with gilt, a pair of halberds hanging above a huge lit fireplace in the fore wall, and that great dining table and 12 chairs sitting around it, taking up most of the room. The apparatus is still rendered immobile effectively by being wedged between the table and the wall. And it has shown you a secret door in the northwest corner of the room that might take you outside again if you're willing to explore.
Could you take us back to the page where we might still have the plan scribbled?
Yeah, the sketch.
I don't think you ever had one.
Hmm? I sketched the plan on the page when we were this one.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. I didn't even notice.
Did the automaton tell us the name of the beast's brother?
No, he just said his brother. To be continued.
Correct.
Emaírel is going to scratch the pad and all that, and ask about what's the name of the brother and how is he?
How is he, was the question?
Yes, well, I guess a sort of implied human or constructed.
Okay. So the apparatus just scratches. Count calls him aberrant Promethean. Wipes it clean. At the tower, when you ask about where he is.
Can I use my arcane knowledge to recognize what aberrant Promethean quote-unquote might mean?
Sure. Roll knowledge arcana. Well, Doctor, you're still feeling a little bit under the weather, and Emaírel, your imagination is piqued by this name. I mean, Promethean sort of implies something like a created creature, so it strongly hints at a construct. But what aberrant is supposed to mean, especially given the, let's say, creative anatomy of the constructs you've already encountered here, is impossible to say. There could maybe you even lack the imagination.
Could you like spell it or write it out? Aberrant, okay. Aberrant, okay.
As
Well,
an
that
aberration.
sounds
Mildly disturbing.
yeah, interesting to say the least. And Emaírel will continue. Wipe, scratch, ask. Is he the older brother?
He scratches. No.
Ugh.
where is the beast's father? Where is Herr Karamark?
Wipes it clean, scratches. Tower? Question mark.
Did we ask them about the attack? I guess it told us that this damage was because of the brother, but we didn't ask them about the invaders, right?
No, I don't think you did.
In that case, again, wipe, scratch. What do you know about invading trolls?
Seems surprised and just draws a blank line, like a dash, across the board.
There were trolls in the gatehouse. They seemed to be defending themselves both from outside invasion and from the Schloss itself. Do you know nothing of this?
And he wipes the dash and just scratches. No.
Well then, I suppose in that case we can, well, leave this thing here and go explore the castle some more, right?
I guess.
Yeah, it has outlived its usefulness to us.
Does that mean you want to destroy it?
Well, I mean, I want to destroy it, but I mean, I'm not going to. Not since the last time I tried.
Well, it might still be useful. Like we might have more questions for it later.
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
So that leaves us with one exit. Only one. Well, there's one exit, one secret exit from this room, and there's the
And
upper floor too, right?
yes,
Yeah.
and the normal exit.
Shall we start with the upper floor?
I don't
Sounds
know.
good to me.
Well, okay.
In that case, EmaＲel will step in front and get moving.
And Arronax, well, he's still so very much ready to check his shield extract. He will follow him.
Okay. So you walk past. Well, you already found those secret doors that that lead south, and but you haven't really explored the hallway that goes by them. There were more doors connecting to that. So you've only gone through the secret door into the smoking room and the library, and you realize that on the far side of it there was a regular door that connected to a hallway, and that hallway connected back to the entry hall.
Yes, we
But from
assumed
that
so.
hallway, there are still 3 more rooms that branch off on this floor.
Oh, okay.
Definitely do that first.
Yeah. So there are 2 to the south and 1 that connects to the hallway from the east. They're fairly interesting. The southern 2 are trophy rooms. They're cramped with taxidermied animals and stuffed heads, of all
Here?
sorts of animals. What?
I mean, it's south.
Yeah, that looks about right.
Uh-huh,
Yeah.
okay.
They're two rooms actually, and they're directly adjacent for one another. But the trophies aren't really impressive in the sense that they're mighty beasts or anything like that. They're just curious and interesting looking, and some of them have strange deformities. Others look like they've been actually stitched together from different animals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that practice was frowned upon on our biology class. It's never too late to discover new species, but it's hard when you make them on spot. Everyone can do that.
Emaírel, you inspect the rooms closely, but you don't really find anything beyond those trophies, and you're actually kind of sure that the trophies, as interesting as they are, probably not worth a lot, since some of them are poorly taxidermied, and and there are no big five or anything like that among them.
Okay. On to the next room, I guess.
The other room that kind of runs the east wall of the hallway is a billiards room. There's a billiards table that fills up most of the chamber and a rack of cues on one wall. A brass and gold score checker hangs by the door that looks quite ostentatious.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's any way you can. Actually, I don't know if Evelyn has appraise or not. Can she take a look at that?
Sure, definitely looks valuable. I'll see if I can navigate your sheet.
By the way, if I don't think I've actually done it yet already, but Evelyn is definitely putting mesmeric mirror on everyone, and then also doubling up mask misery on herself.
Okay, and indeed you do have a rank in praise, and you think that the score checker might be worth something like less than 100 gold pieces, probably like 90 gold pieces. So, because it's all just thin leaf gold and brass.
Well, it's all belongs to Herr Karamark, so there's hardly any point in thieving it from him.
Indeed.
Assuming he's alive, of course.
And I think you said there was a third room here?
Yeah, there are 2 trophy rooms.
Okay, 2 trophy rooms and then the billiards.
Yes.
Okay. And after that, we're back to the main entry point.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The entry hall.
So upstairs?
All right.
Okay. Yeah, the upstairs are mostly taken up by bedrooms. You go through the rooms one by one. They're quite large, actually. They're very comfortable looking. There is there's a room that is probably the master bedroom, and quite neat. Holds a resplendent 4-poster bed surrounded by oak furniture. And of course, that room draws your attention immediately. It's quite obvious that No one has slept here in days, at least. There's some furniture around, a wardrobe, a dressing table, chest, and a tall dressing mirror.
Mm-hmm. People usually born to such wealth.
Any clue as to the whereabouts of the Lord of the Manor?
33. Is anybody helping?
Hmm.
Evelyn
Yeah.
will attempt to aid.
Okay. Perception.
Okay,
Okay.
let's try perceive this all together.
Okay. So you, knowing that this will be the room of the Count, you give it a close look. And you go through the wardrobe, and it's crammed with fine men's clothing. There are almost a dozen nobles' outfits. There are 6 scholars' outfits, even a royal outfit. You go through the drawers of the dressing table and find a jewelry box that holds a silver chain, a gold snuff box set with a topaz, a platinum-handled magnifying glass in a leather case, a monocle with a silver chain ending in a diamond pin, all sorts of these marvelous pieces of art, but no sign of the whereabouts of the Count. You also check the chest, which just holds more clothing, but as EmaＲel realizes, it also hides a hidden cupboard behind the chest.
Let's give that a look.
So you open the cupboard?
Yeah.
Okay. And as you open it, you reach for the door and you open it, and it kind of pops open as if it was spring loaded. And in the same instant, a tiny little arrow comes shooting out from inside the cupboard. 23 to hit you, touch.
Yeah, it does touch.
Oh, actually,
Regular?
regular, but flat-footed.
It does touch, yeah.
Okay. That means that you take 4 points of damage and a fortitude save, please. Oh boy. So you get kind of pricked by that little arrow, but it immediately makes you feel uncomfortable. I'm just gonna add a round counter here.
Great. And this was exactly the day when I decided to not prepare a lesser restoration.
Yeah, like I said, you immediately feel uncomfortable. We'll kind of go in initiative order. The order doesn't really matter, but the number of rounds matters. So I'll just go down the list. What do you want to do, Emaṛel? You feel weird. You feel like you're getting dizzy, kind of nauseous.
Can I figure out what happened to me?
Heal check.
Heal. That would be untrained.
Okay. You can't tell what it is that makes you feel like this, but it's fairly obvious that that arrow was poisoned. That is already a standard. So if you have anything you want to do as a move,
Try to check if there is more arrows potentially ready to shoot.
So, so you kind of open the door and peek behind it. But there's no more arrow. You can clearly see the mechanism that launched the arrow, and it's empty now. But you spot several chests and a little ivory goat figurine that is sitting in the cupboard. Arronax.
In this case, Arronax will. I mean, he put away his, or even probably won't drop his extract. But anyway he will rush to Emaírel and he will try to attend him. Saying, oh my, by the gods, what have you gotten yourself into? Are you feeling okay? And he will try his own heal check, I suppose.
Well, you want to treat his poison, then you roll when he has to make the save. So just.
Well, it will be on my next round then. And I have actually I have just the thing to try and treat his poison. So Arronax will prepare the body balm that he has in his inventory for many sessions now. It's an alchemical powder that would give him +5 alchemical bonus on heal checks for treating poison.
And what kind of action is it to use it?
I assume it would be the same action as treating poison. It doesn't say in the wiki.
It's a powder that needs to be boiled in water and given to a creature to drink.
To drink, yeah. Then we don't have time.
Yeah.
All right then.
So you're just gonna try a regular heal when his turn comes up. Evelyn? Probably not gonna do much, I guess.
Sorry. Evelyn's gonna take a standard action to implant mask misery in him, in Emaírel.
Okay.
And then, I'm sorry, I don't have the trigger for it up in front of me, but I'm going to be in front of my computer in 2 seconds, but basically, if there's...
You cut out there.
I think I have it. The subject can ignore the effect of a condition for 1d4 rounds.
What? The mask misery is what it's called?
Yeah.
Control for a short time before succumbing to the mood can trigger this condition listed on the touch treatment ability. Okay, so where's the touch treatment ability? Because I feel like poisoned is probably not a minor condition. Touch. Touch treatment. Fascinated and shaken. Yeah, none of this fits a poison. Of this particular poison.
Okay.
At least not yet. Okay, so your turn comes up. You take 4 points of constitution damage as you really start to get dizzy, nauseous, you're kind of swaying, and your friends will at this point, at least at this point, they'll realize, oh, he's about to pass out. Give me another fortitude save, and Arronax can roll his heal save. Heal check.
I clicked. 1 second, I click again. Oh, here we go.
Okay. So he gets his +4 to the check. And yeah, you still feel dizzy, of course. You still have that damage. At least it's not getting worse for now. You take a deep breath.
Mm-hmm. And don't worry, Emaírel. You won't succumb to this thing just yet.
Are you gonna continue treating him?
Yes. Can I actually try to identify what the thing is? What the poison is?
That would be another standard. So
Hmm.
either or.
All right. So in that case, it can wait.
Okay. Evelyn.
Yeah, I don't think there's much else I can help with at the moment.
Okay. Emaírel, another save.
Cast guidance.
Why would I have guidance? Oh, I guess I can. No. That's true. I should cast Hermian Potential on him, though.
Okay.
Basically, he'll get his next 2 d20 saves. He gets to roll twice.
Okay. Nice.
Okay then.
Very good. Okay. Yeah. So the color returns to your face. The nausea is slowly fading away. You're still feeling a little dizzy, a little shaken up from the exposure, but you feel like this sensation of vertigo is passing.
Oh, so can I actually now use my action to try to recognize the poison?
Sure. You pick up the arrow, you inspect it.
Mm-hmm.
To give me a craft alchemy check.
It may be not exactly 28, maybe 24 because my bonus is for craft.
It's the unmistakable spell of it's this kind of mix between guano and dried salamander. It's wyvern poison.
Ooh, that's
or wyvern poison.
So I will state as much. And well, you got lucky. You only nearly fainted, Emaírel. That's potent stuff Count has in his closet. But if he defends his valuables that way, it must be very valuable. Then let's continue our investigation. Then you can still stand, right?
I think so. And as he does, Emaírel is going to fish into his backpack and pull out a wand of restoration. Lesser restoration.
Okay, yeah, you cast it once, do 1d4. But yeah, only feels slightly restored.
Yeah, I guess he's going to attempt a second charge.
And once again, it works. And this time,
Much better.
yeah, it does work much better. Okay, so you're fully restored.
Well, I guess that now we can see what is so deserving of protection. After maybe after inspecting again for any other such mechanisms.
Okay. You take a good look, and this seems to be the only mechanism that was in place here. Yeah, so you take a good look at what's inside the cupboard, and as I said, there are several chests, and then there are this little trio of goat figurines. They all look slightly different from one another.
Silver, you said?
Hmm?
The material of the figurines.
Ivory.
Ivory.
Oh, I'm on. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna cast detect magic in that area.
The chests are boring, but the figurines, those little goats, are actually quite potent in their magic.
Those are some wondrous figurines, you might say, huh?
You
Can you
might say.
decipher what they can do? And why such precautions were taken to secret them away?
You can give me a knowledge arcana. Evelyn can.
Yeah.
Well, they're quite potent, but you have no idea what they're supposed to do. Also, they're just goats. Not very powerful animals.
Lady Evelyn, what sort of aura do they give off?
Simon, what sort of aura did they give off?
Well, knowledge arcane, I believe, is exactly to recognize the aura.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
You just get the strength of it and the location, unless you succeed on the one.
I'm
Okay.
honestly not sure, and well, I am loath to go collecting all of Herr Karamark's goods, since we are somewhat invited guests. We may need to use any magic that we can get our hands on if we want to figure out what's happening here.
True.
Well, I also not in the habit of pocketing everything I come across, but the circumstances have turned rather dire for us. We almost lost another friend here, so I'm sure in any case we can always just apologize to Mr. Karamark and put them back if he takes umbrage with us.
What I am more afraid of maybe picking up something that ends up sinister. But I guess we need to know what it is. Emaírel is going to reach for... are the figurines like separate ones or all in one set?
No, they're separate figurines, but they clearly are a set.
Okay, well, then he's going to pick them up. Take a minute to try and figure them out.
We think you just automatically identify them, right?
Unless they are cursed with a higher caster level than mine.
Mm-hmm. No, not higher than yours.
But they are cursed.
Okay, so indeed, these little figurines hold quite wondrous power. And each of them has a slightly different function. One of the goats, let's call it the goat of traveling. You sense the power of an enduring mount from that little figurine, and you know, or you intuit that if you were to utter the command word, the goat would turn into a speedy and enduring mount that would be quite like a heavy horse in every way except appearance. It would still look like a goat. But the goat can travel for a maximum of 1 day each week, continuously or in any combination of periods totaling 24 hours. And at that point, or when you utter the command word again, it returns to its statuette form for no less than 1 day before it can be again used. The second goat, let's call it the Goat of Travail. I don't know if that's correctly pronounced. Travail.
Travail.
Travail. This statuette gives you a very different vibe of a more aggressive nature. And indeed, you realize that the statuette becomes an enormous creature, larger than a bull, with the statistics of a nightmare, except for the addition of a pair of wicked horns of exceptional size, which means damage 1d8 plus 4 for each horn. If it is charging to attack, it may only use its horn, but add 6 points of damage to each successful attack in that round. It can be called to life just once per month for up to 12 hours at a time. And the last goat shakes your core as you touch it. It has a frightening energy, which is why we're going to call it the Goat of Terror. And when called upon with the proper command word, this statuette becomes a Destria-like mount with the statistics of a light horse. However, its rider can employ the goat's horns as weapon. One horn as a +3 heavy lance, and the other as a +5 longsword. When ridden in an attack against an opponent, the Goat of Terror radiates fear as the spell in a 30-foot radius. Will DC 16 to save, and it can be used once every 2 weeks for up to 3 hours per use.
That's quite a
Those
bit of
are
power.
Very powerful goats.
And I can shake the image in my mind's eye that goats with detachable horns.
Mm-hmm.
And using one of the ones that's such asymmetrical, it gives me a migraine.
Well, they're not symmetrical. The horns don't have to be symmetrical.
Yes, they do have to be symmetrical. They're horns.
It is something that you would look for as a breeder, probably. But
Well, I am a breeder. I mean, I breed chickens. Never mind. Let's pick these things and use their power wisely then.
Well, then, who ought to hold on to these things?
I guess
Well, I believe Emaírel is our resident expert on magical things.
well, Lady Evelyn seems to be able to make use of magical devices very well too. And in a situation where we need more power, I think I would be more used holding the line.
Oh, very well. I should be happy to keep them on my person.
okay. What about the chests?
What do we see about the chests? Are they open or closed? Or
They're closed. They're closed. They are various sizes. Don't seem to be locked, though. Apparently, the Count thought that the cupboard would be safe enough.
Well, since we are already pillaging his cabinet, we probably should check what he has to offer in there as well. I assume it's some.
Evelyn will try to mage hand one of them open.
Yeah.
Okay. And one of the lids opens, and you find a whole pile of coins inside. various values. Lots of gold, some silver, some copper, few platinum.
Let's try to note this location, and
Yeah, if
otherwise
anything should befall
be
Lord
rude.
Calermark, we might just, liberate his treasure.
If Karamark was deceased, does Evelyn have any idea what would happen to his his inheritance, or what his estate? What would happen to his estate? Because he has no
Deceased,
heirs, does he?
Deceased and inanimate.
Yeah, no, he doesn't have any heirs. Quite dramatically so. So what would probably happen is that the estate would be held by a notary or something like that, and then all sorts of very distant relatives would start to circle his belongings like vultures.
Mm-hmm. In fact, maybe even you can turn out to be his very distant relative.
I'm sure if you go back far enough.
Yeah.
I may have as much claim to it as anyone.
Yeah, about the 13th generation past, I believe everyone is related somewhere.
Well, regardless, let us take careful note of what we have here, and otherwise I suggest we not try to lug any chests around for the time being.
Anything else of note in the room?
Well, like I said, the various treasures from the table's drawers and the wardrobe.
I don't think we're really in the mood of wearing a dead man's clothing.
Not yet. If some of those fine outfits can be retailored, then it would be a shame to see such quality fabric go to waste.
I guess if we're done with this, we'll move on to the next rooms.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you move through the remaining rooms of the first floor, second floor, and you find that they are, like I said, the floor holds almost exclusively bedrooms, and the other two bedrooms appear to be guest rooms of some sort. One of them holds another four-poster bed covered by white sheets, a wardrobe and dressing table, quite luxuriously furnished, but it looks very unused. There's a door in the southern room that is locked when you try it, and judging by the position, it would take you outside of the mansion.
Mm-hmm. So a balcony of sorts, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
I guess we'll give it a try just to take a peek.
Okay.
Yeah, Arronax is having a flashback of plummeting into the waterfall. So yeah.
Evelyn stands well back from the door.
I think I had enough of heights for the past week.
Yeah, and the sound of rushing water that you hear the door is definitely helping your PTSD.
Do I detect any magic on the door?
No.
I guess I'll just crack it and look behind.
Well, it's locked.
Oh, locked. Okay.
It's on the doctor if he wishes to pursue this inquiry.
Well, I mean, I can open it for you, but you'll be the one checking it out, Emaírel.
Sure.
And to think that my talents would be used in such a way.
You grumble as you fail to open the lock.
Yeah, you know what, it doesn't really worth it, the effort here, I mean. Besides, Count obviously invested quite a lot into security, so my amateurish efforts don't really hold water here.
We didn't happen to see any keys in his bedroom, did we? And with his other possessions?
Nope.
Well, we can always maybe just leave it. So I think we've seen all of the first floor, right?
No, there's one more bedroom. It's much simpler than the other two. There are just 3 simple cots arranged within the chamber. But it looks like there was a visitor here not too long ago, because there are still numerous drawings and books that litter a nearby table.
Aha.
This is all still on the first floor, right?
It's second floor.
Oh, this is the second floor, okay.
Well, the floor above the entrance.
Right.
Yes. You are immediately attracted by the drawings on the table and rifle through them, and you realize that the drawings look like they are various attempts at plans for what looks like a bridge that is spanning the gap between a building that is adjacent to the mansion and a building on the far side of the river. The books are engineering books and technical manuals and that sort of stuff. Quite valuable, as textbooks can be, but nothing too exciting for you. There's also a magnificent jade and gold writing set, though. Several jars of valuable ink, and a small portable ink jar with a silver clasp. All of those utensils appear quite valuable.
Do the plans seem to line up with the door that we just found locked?
No. No, absolutely not. The bridge starts at a building that is adjacent to the mansion and then goes across the river to the far side.
Emaírel, can you make any sense of this based on what you saw with your remote viewing?
Yes, Emaírel, you have seen you kind of, with the arrangement of the buildings, you've seen that, but the bridge that you saw spanning the river was not as intricately engineered as this one is, but it was just a rope bridge.
So the rope bridge could be like just a temporary solution while a proper one was being built, or at least being studied.
Quite possible. Reasonable assumption.
Is there any sort of like handwriting or anything on these notes? Like
On the plans, yeah, there are some numbers measurements and that kind of stuff.
Would it be possible to take a look around this room or the other bedroom, looking for, like, I don't know, other documents, and try to see if this matches up with anything else? Like, Evelyn's trying to figure out if this might be Karamark's notes himself, or I don't know if there would have been anything in the other bedroom that would have borne his writing.
You haven't seen anything that was written by him.
Does it look like a refined hand, like a practiced nobleman's handwriting?
Linguistics. Ooh, nice. While the writing implement certainly would suggest that this is Karamark's work, the writing itself doesn't strike you as very educated. It's well, at least not in a classical sense. Of course, you can't check the calculations, and you figure that they're probably correct. It looks very professional, but it lacks the learned finesse. The writing itself lacks the learned finesse that any noble person would acquire during their training.
Is it possible somebody else was in residence here? Workmen, staff? Who else could have been making these notes?
Well, I imagine they invited an engineer.
But this is recent.
True, yeah. Well, as far as we knew, the beast was still alive, like, until a few days ago.
And
And the trolls moved in, and all of this. We don't have a good timeline.
well, there in this place we can take all kinds of guesses what it can be. It could be a beast or his brother, since we have no idea what it looks like. It might actually be quite capable of fine writing and possess of high intelligence, since the beast himself was a marvel of engineering. It could be possible that the next model was a great improvement on him, or alternatively it could be something else that crawled into this castle and and lived here. Maybe it could be a ghost. Maybe it could be a homunculus. It can even be Count himself, who just might not have such a steady hand to be recognized as a noble writer.
Well, that's very astute. Perhaps we should ask that construct if the gods have been wandering around in here.
Maybe we should leave it alone and let it just rot.
I think we've exhausted the possibilities of this building, haven't we? Aside from that one secret passageway.
I think so.
Well, I say we ought to head out that way then. I'm going that way.
The way of the secret door that was revealed by the construct.
Yeah.
Okay.
And as we pass by the construct, Evelyn wants to ask it if there's anyone else here that it knows of.
And it wipes the slate clean and writes not anymore.
What does that mean?
It means everyone dead, Evelyn. Because of them.
Who used to be in residence here, aside from... Well, I'll let you tell me.
And it wipes it clean and just writes engineers.
And what were they doing here? And how long ago was this?
Wipes it clean. And writes building bridge. And wipes it clean again. And says until dark people came.
And what are these dark people?
Wipes it clean. Dark people.
Were these people wearing cloaks?
Wipes it clean. Yes. Dark cloaks.
And how many were there?
Wipes it clean, hesitates for a little bit, and does like vertical scratches into the board. And you count about a dozen.
And how long ago did you say this happened?
Wipes it clean and just recently. Doesn't really have a way to tell time, it seems.
And what happened to the engineers when the dark people came?
Wipes it clean, disappeared.
And what happened to the bridge?
Wipes it clean, not finished.
So who built the rope bridge now?
Wipes it clean. Engineers.
I see. But these engineers hired by Herr Karamark in order to complete the bridge.
Wipe. Yes.
Do you know anything else about them? Where they came from? How many there were?
Wipe. No.
Did these dark people do anything else here aside from make the engineers disappear?
Wipes and says, no.
I don't believe that one bit. Were these dark people guests of Herr Karamark?
Wipe. No. Uninvited.
Did you fight them? Were the Schloss's defenses activated against them?
Wipe. Yes.
And do they have anything to do with the current state of the beast and the beast's brother and the Hare?
wipe. Don't know.
I knew we shouldn't have delayed. Well, never mind. Standing around won't help us any further. It seems that we are, intentionally or no, hot on the heels of this organization that you gentlemen have described to me before. The one, I dare say, that was interfering with the ghosts at Harrowstone.
Hmm. That is
Yes.
a brief question. How much time have we spent exploring the first and second floor by this point?
Well, you got to the Schloss late the next night. I don't know. It's probably near midnight.
No, I mean in the sense that my mutagen would last only about an hour, so it
Oh yeah, they would definitely be.
yeah. So
On.
at this point, yeah, Aronax will sort of deflate and regain his normal pigmentation. It's like, well, this is really not very good news, but considering that the Count clearly a man of means, I suppose he could stand up for himself, unless of course he.
Do we know of any sort of link between the professor and the count?
You asking me?
Yes.
Well, you know what you know.
I mean, I only know what he wrote me in letters, and we kept our correspondence purely to scientific themes. I wasn't adventuring out with him like some people might have.
Well, I guess we know what lies ahead. So let's proceed. Let's proceed further.
And should we encounter any of these robed people, we might just ask them very pointed questions. And they might as well clear this situation up for us.
So you head through the secret door?
Yes, I suppose we head through the secret door.
Okay. You head through the secret door and into that short hallway that takes you to the exit. And right next to the exit, you find a hook. Where is that stupid? G8. There it is. Right next to the outside door, in the secret corridor, you find some hooks that hold several coats, a walking cane, and a cloak that appears to be made of seal skin.
Aww.
Detect magic.
Unfortunately not.
They killed baby seals.
A
How
hook.
quaint.
Yeah, like a coat hanger.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and you're saying that there's several sealskin cloaks, or just one?
Well, one sealskin cloak, but several coats, just regular woolen coats, and a walking cane.
Could it possibly be a restroom? somewhere up close? Could it be occupied?
What does the walking cane look like? Is there anything distinctive about it? Does it look like just a common one or a fancy one?
It's actually a quite modest one. It's just a gnarly piece of wood.
And
Very-
a seal
yeah.
skin. Anything about that in particular, aside from it's made from seal skin?
I mean, it is quite the oddity. That's for. You wouldn't know anyone who would dress in seal skin.
Emaírel is going to grab that seal skin and give it a minute and see if he can figure something out.
Okay. Six days. No, there are only faint echoes of something, but you strain to listen to them, but you cannot hone in.
Could it have belonged to one of the engineers, maybe? Could these be their possessions? But this pathway is secret.
Yeah. Well, if we disregard this exit, what other ways would there be to proceed?
None, I believe, aside from the locked door.
Isn't that a bit odd? Well, I guess the locked door would be the mean to reach the main tower.
Well, it is a little odd indeed. I mean, multiple buildings are visible from the outside, so of course any visitor who comes would know that there would be some way to access the other parts of the Schloss, but I highly doubt that the one in the master bedroom, that door is intended to be the only exit. Perhaps it's just to confound guests or a novelty. It's not unheard of to disguise doors for no other purpose than to astound newcomers.
Yeah, and Count Karamark is a bit eccentric, I guess. So maybe.
Perhaps we should be on our way then, see where this leads.
Yeah.
Should I open it?
By
Yeah.
all means.
So so it's locked, right?
Which one are we talking about? The one on the ground floor?
The one next to the hook and the hooks
Okay.
and the, okay.
Emaírel, can you hold on to these for the time being? The seal skin and the cane. One never knows.
Sure, I'll toss them in my bag.
And as you do so, the doctor inspects the door and finds that it's unlocked.
Aha. You see, I was successful. No, we can come in. I'm merely fooling myself. And he opens the door and steps aside.
Indeed he does, because he gets a little bit of a vertigo attack when he opens the door and finds that right after it connects to a narrow stone bridge without a handrail that lies above the roaring waters as they are drawn over the edge of the falls.
Again.
Again.
Is there a guarding creature this time?
This time, no. You only see that the bridge is even narrower than the one before. This one is just 3 feet wide. Looks kind of precarious, but at least it's not as long. It's only 10, 25 feet to get to the kind of ruined looking building across. The bridge ends at a narrow stone terrace with a wooden door, and the door leads to a large building that seems to have taken a blast of some sort. From your vantage point here, you can see that the western wall has been blown out, and the entire building seems rather compromised. But from the western side of that building, the rope bridge connects to another building across the entire river.
Wait, is this...
That's clearly the one that you saw the plans of.
The one that we saw that is right in front of us is a stone one? And from the other side?
Yes, that's a rope bridge.
Okay.
Does the damage to this building appear to be relatively recent, or does it look like it's like old and crumbling?
It's not old and crumbling, but it also didn't happen just now. You would probably have to inspect it close up to be certain how long,
Okay.
but something on the time scale of weeks or months, not
Okay.
years.
Something like this?
I don't know. I'm on a different page here. No, the bridge goes north
Ah, okay.
from the mansion.
Well, I don't have the space then.
Does my perception reveal any sort of hidden threats about the bridge and the crossing?
Where's it? There it is. No, it looks precarious, as I said, and the lack of handrails makes it a little bit of a scary walk. But if you don't rush it, it should be safe enough to.
And does
Yeah.
detect magic reveal anything?
No.
Geier, why don't you take the
Emaírel,
lead on this one?
Emaírel is going to head out first.
Slowly, I assume.
How similar does it look to the previous one? Like same but just narrower?
No. In fact, the other one. The other one was also kind of slender, but it was 10 feet wide, and it gracefully arched over the waterfall below. This one is much narrower. It's just 3 feet wide, and it looks almost as if it just grew out of the stone of the rock under the mansion to traverse the stretch of the river here, and then connect to the other building across.
I see.
Huh. Could it, well, Emaríl is going to try and detect magic.
No magic.
I'm a little offended.
Oh, I thought you were looking just at the blast on the building.
I mean, I would assume I would sweep it around the area, but yeah.
Is there some point where a rope could be secured?
On the inside, on or on door or something like that. Sure.
All right. Well, in that case, he'll secure a rope, tie the other end around himself, and attempt to cross.
Okay. And you slowly make your way across, balancing on the narrow bridge, and you're kind of expecting something to materialize or jump out of the water or just something bad to happen, but nothing of the sort happens. It's just a walk in the park.
Okay. He is going to untie the rope from around him, and hopefully he'll see something to secure this end on this
Well,
side.
there is the door that that leads to into the building.
But we'll need to open it eventually. So you can. It's okay.
Does that door open, Emaríl, before we all head over there?
He'll give it a try.
It does open, and as you peek inside, you see a large workshop that takes up the entirety of this building. It's cramped with alchemical equipment, but an explosion of some kind has ripped away the western wall, leaving a large gap in the floor and the wall open, now wreathed with scaffolding. It looks as if a stone bridge once connected this building with another one on the far side of the gorge, but only a slender rope bridge now hangs between the two.
Okay.
And it's just a single room. I'm sorry. Are there other
Yeah,
doors?
just one large workshop. The entire building is just one large hall.
Does it have like a high ceiling? It clearly it just goes all the way up to
Right.
the roof.
Yes.
Okay.
Emaríl is going to secure the rope maybe to the doorknob or anything, and this way the rest of the group will be able to
Okay,
move.
so you tie it to the doorknob, basically providing a handrail that way, and you allow everyone to have something to hold on to. They shimmy across and join you on that narrow terrace just outside the workshop.
Did you say that this bridge looked like it grew over to the other side?
Yeah, kind of like that. Give me a
Like something a spellcaster would be able to do.
spellcraft check. 19. 24. Yeah, both of you. Seeing how the stone is shaped, you're pretty certain that it's not a natural occurrence, and it's not engineered, but maybe someone literally shaped the stone using a spell to form this bridge.
And are there? I know this one's a little bit of a stretch, but are there any is there any way to tell how long ago that might have happened? Like, does it look like this was done a long time ago and it's kind of weathered down, or?
Well, I guess from the weathering, knowledge. Do you have anything like knowledge geography? Well, geology actually is what it is. Knowledge nature or knowledge engineering? Either of those.
I have neither.
then it's impossible for you to tell. There's lichen growing on it, so it's not like it's been like it happened in the last couple of hours or days. But
Okay, okay.
you have no way to tell how long.
It doesn't seem like it's on the same time frame as the explosion.
It could be, but you don't know.
I mean, the lingering aura from the spell has already faded, so it
Yeah, so
wasn't,
it's more than a couple of minutes. So
it was quite.
Doctor, do you have any knowledge of engineering or the natural world?
Well, as a matter of fact, I do. And yeah, from a sample of this lichen, I can tell that this occurrence had happened exactly this much time ago, I suppose.
You would say that this has been that rock has been exposed to the elements out here for a few months.
Mm-hmm. So, whoever those black-robed people were, they were here long before we were ever invited.
I don't know how long how long ago how long has it been since the beast has been home, I wonder. And at this point it's been like, let's see, how long has it been since the Whispering Way was at Harrowstone? Because it was at least 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it was.
That's how long.
It was 20
Yeah.
days before we even learned of death of Petros Lorimer, right?
Yeah.
So it was almost 2 months at least.
So do you think they came here before or after they went to Harrowstone?
I don't think we have any indication as to that.
I suppose we have no way to know right now. But if this bridge coincides with this blast, then they must have had powerful magic users to force an entrance here.
Well, I mean, they had to have powerful magic users to awaken the spirits in the Harrowstone as well.
This is true. You'll pardon me. Did not see the things that you saw at Harrowstone, so all of this is
maybe that's for
still
the better.
new to me. Is there any sign of like an old bridge or like a previous way that people used to get across here?
Perception. You investigate that little balcony or terrace that you're standing on, keeping that in mind, and the way that this terrace has been built. Actually, the terrace is made of stone, and it looks like at some point it connected to an engineered bridge as well.
Sorry, the terrace looks like it connects to an engineered bridge.
Yeah, it used to.
Oh, it used to. Okay.
Yeah.
I dare say that somebody attempted to prevent entrance into this tower by destroying the bridge, and somebody else created a new one. I wonder if Lord Karamark was attempting to evade the attackers, or if something else happened here. Perhaps he was in league with them, for all we know. This doesn't make any sense yet.
Well, I guess we can proceed and see what else we figure out.
Yeah.
What do we find inside the workshop?
Okay, so you make your way into the workshop and start looking through the debris and the various equipment that lies strewn about. Give me a perception check. 26. Yeah. 10. Okay. Okay. Two things are going to happen. And one of them is that all of you, as you look at the stuff that lies around, all the alchemical equipment and the engineering tools that are just strewn around, are quite rusty. They're covered in rust, much more than what you would have expected from the age of this building. They look like they've been like you just like you would expect a tool to look like that you pulled from an Emazárian tube, and not just from a nobleman's workshop. The next thing you notice is that there is movement amongst the piles of metal debris.
Oh no.
And Doctor, you're surprised by that, but Emaírel and Evelyn, you catch sight of it. I guess somebody should roll for Geier too.
Should I control Geier for now,
Yeah,
or
that's a good idea.
Can you fix my token, please? It still tells me that I have 9 hit points.
Did we not change your default token? I thought we
I
did.
don't know. It's the one here.
There it is. Yeah.
Thanks.
No, stay here. Okay. Doctor needs to roll. Or did you already roll initiative? And that's because of your new token.
Yes, it is 5.
Because of the new token. Your initiative is 5. What's Geier's initiative?
can you give me control of his token?
Oh, sure. Evelyn. Okay, should work now.
Damn, what'd you get that bonus to initiative from?
I think he took improved initiative.
Improved initiative. Never leave home without it.
All right. So, as I said, there's movement between the various piles of rusted equipment, and 3 creatures emerge. They.
Oh, sir, I'm sorry. Evelyn's initiative is 19. It's Geier's that's 11.
Oh, why did it change yours?
Because I'm still, even though I rolled Geier's sheet, I guess I'm still. I still have my token selected.
That's fine. Okay, so hers was 18. You said
19.
19. In that case, you can even react before you really see what it is that emerges from the piles. So if you want to do anything in preparation.
So I know something's moving, but I don't see what.
Yeah, and it's probably, you know, that it's most likely medium size. It's not like there's a giant thing about to jump forth and it's making too much noise for something small.
Okay, but I guess I can't. Can I see what squares they're in or anything? Like, can I actually
yeah.
identify them yet? Or
You can't identify them yet, but you see the movement in the squares where the tokens are right now.
Okay. This is Geier's sheet. There, it's like, where did those spells come from?
Simon, I think you're missing one creature on the initiative order.
1, 2. You're right. Thank you.
Evelyn's going to, I guess, since she's standing right here, she figures she might as well, not knowing what we're up against yet, she's gonna put another Hermian potential on Emaírel.
Okay, so she prepares for anything, and good thing she did, because what emerges from these metal piles is most curious. An insectile creature with 4 legs and a strange propeller-shaped protrusion at the end of its tail, and 2 long feathery antennas. And it crawls out from underneath the rusty metal, and it gently sways its antennae around and brings up its tail in what's probably supposed to be a menacing gesture. And then it moves in to reach.
That would provoke from Emaírel. First one would provoke.
Even when you're flat-footed?
I think because I have combat reflexes, I'll double check quickly. Yes, even flat-footed.
Nice. Okay, so go for it.
Roll twice.
Okay, so it scurries towards you, and even though with lightning reflexes you manage to stab at it with your spear, but it's too quick, or you are too slow.
So was that both of your rolls from Hermian potential?
Well, the second one would have counted, I guess.
Yeah.
And is that the same? Does that have all the same modifiers on it?
That doesn't matter. It's a base 4. The roll is of base 4. So
Yeah.
it's just
Okay.
13, and a 13 is not enough. All right. So these 3 strange insectile creatures emerge and close in and surround the doctor.
Oh shit.
Emaírel.
Emaírel is going. Oh right, because it's well, he is going to attack this, or rather this creature. (28) to hit.
28 is a hit. And that is 20 points of damage. This one you said, right?
No.
No, this one.
The right one.
Oh, okay. That's 20 points of damage. Yeah, brutal stab. The creature, despite its kind of tough-looking skin, is easily impaled by your spear. But it's not killed yet.
And the second one.
And he's going. Is there no? Because it's just a standard action.
Surprise,
Is there a
right?
possibility
Yeah.
for? Yeah. Is there a possibility for a 5-foot step during the surprise round?
Yes.
In which case, he's going to step over here.
Okay. Geier is surprised, and so is the doctor. And now we move to the full round. Evelyn.
Identify.
All right. That will be no dungeon.
Not my forte.
And you have no idea what monsters are.
They do seem to be alive, though.
That's true. Yeah. They sure seem so.
They certainly don't look like the constructs, I'm assuming, so... Evelyn is going to hopefully take one of these things out of the fight by casting Oppressive Boredom on the one to the left of the doctor.
Okay. It gets a will save. And it fails. So it kind of the antenna kind of go down, kind of droopy looking. Move action.
Evelyn's feeling pretty secure right where she is at the moment. So she's going to use a move action to draw out the wand of curing, the cure light wounds.
Okay.
Hold it in one hand.
Okay. The creature that she attacked with her spell, like I said, its antenna kind of lowered and droopy looking, and it just seems very bored. The other creature over here, however, the doctor. Is the doctor wearing anything made of metal?
Unfortunately, he wears his chain shirt.
He wears his chain shirt. So the creature lashes out with its antennae, trying to touch your chain shirt, and it manages to do so.
Yep.
And as it touches the chain shirt, the metal swiftly rusts and corrodes. Your chain shirt takes half its maximum HP and damage and gains the broken condition.
Just like that.
Or actually, it's an intended object though, because you're wearing it. So you get to make a reflex save first.
Okay.
But you fail. So indeed, the chain shirt is broken.
What it means for the armor?
You need to look it up. I believe that you take a penalty, bonus lowers or something like that. But we'll figure it out. That was that. And the other one also tries to touch you with its antennae. And I will need another reflex save. And you won't have to look up what a broken chain shirt is, because as it touches your chain shirt with its antennae, the rings of the chainmail kind of break apart because of rust and corrosion, and just ching ching clunk clunk shoosh, the chain shirt slides off your back as it is destroyed.
Well, Dr. Arronax is more perplexed about thinking you to be horrified or relieved that he's the one who gets destroyed for once.
Emaṛel, your turn.
Which one was targeted by Evelyn?
This one.
One to the left.
Okay. In that case, he's going to step over here. He's going to try and figure out these things too.
Okay, knowledge engineering. 14. Well, definitely strange little creatures, but you have no idea what they are.
And he's going to start swinging again at this bugger first.
Yes. There it is. And you spear, you lodge your spear into its eye socket, and with a popping sound as you withdraw the spear, it dislodges and the creature goes down.
And if that first attack was enough, then he's going to redirect the second one to this guy.
Okay, he has some cover, and that means that you fail to hit. Because the doctor is just in the way.
Okay.
Gaia. Anthony?
Sorry. Geier starts mumbling and grumbling and shoves his way past Evelyn.
Protecting his shovel.
Yeah. And he's gonna kind of line up a clear shot here and fire off some magic missiles at the one to the north of Aronax.
Okay. Choo-choo-choo-choo. Wow, and quite a powerful cannonade of magic missiles that strike the creature. Doctor?
Serves you right.
Mm-hmm. That's almost perfect imitation of Geier. Arronax will shake himself from the dust that was his armor. Let me check it out, I forgot. So yeah, now his armor class is 12. Then he will step backwards. I suppose I can 5-foot step like this to avoid their attention.
Sure.
And, well, he looks at himself, looks at them, like he will frown and throw a bomb at this one.
Okay. And you hit, and the bomb goes off and blasts the creature into bits and pieces.
Yep. And the second one gets well, a saving throw.
Reflex?
Yes. Or to take 7 points of fire damage.
Fails and takes 7 points. Okay. It gets singed by the bomb as well. Evelyn.
Evelyn's gonna delay her turn.
Okay. The monsters. The one in front of Emaírel, its antenna twitching and trying to get some momentum going, some energy. Hey, I believe it snapped out of its boredom, correct?
That does it, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, being in front of a large pile of metal like Emaírel, you get very excited and tries to touch his spear.
Oh shit, I forgot to... Ah!
22, which is enough, so I need a reflex save.
Is that touch versus just the spear?
Yeah, it's just a touch attack against the spear.
I'm fairly certain that the spear is just wooden.
Well, if it's wooden, then it wouldn't attack it. Elven... What is it? Branched spear or something like that?
Yeah.
Elven branched spear. Behind this long pole weapon's spearhead, several short branches project from the shaft at a blah, 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 blah. But a spearhead, I would say, is a metal thing.
The tip, yeah, I think the tip would be metal.
Yeah. And if that breaks, then the weapon is still broken. So
Okay.
that would still work as normal.
Yeah.
So your spear reflex save first before we go overboard. Oh yeah, you're surprised that it goes for the spear instead of for your throat, and you accidentally let it touch the spear, giving it the broken condition as it swiftly rusts and corrodes. The other two monsters are already out of commission, and it's Emaírel's turn.
He is going to step back, and then he is going to where is it? He is going to take a swift action to take a little peek into the future, helping him hit this creature better
Okay.
through his divination implement, and he's going to swing at it twice. Okay, so I've put in the broken modifier.
That is already included. Okay. So it's
Yes.
11 with the first attack, and then 15 with the second.
Nice rolls.
So even though your spearhead is corroded, you stab once, you pull it back out, whirl the spear around, and you push it back in. And with a second thrust, the creature dies. Of course,
So-
that doesn't bring back your spears.
Or my chain shirt.
Integrity. Or the Darkest chain shirt.
That serves them well.
Ah, shoot. Damn it.
We forgot something.
I did, but let's see. Um, okay, never mind.
Okay.
Is there a mischance or something?
No, never mind.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So the room falls silent again,
Uh-huh.
except for the rushing water from outside. And you've managed to slay those strange beasts.
And
You are now free to inspect the room more thoroughly. If you wish, you can just roll a perception check again.
yeah, and since these things.
Evelyn's more concerned about keeping her jewelry away from those things,
Yeah.
even if they're dead.
And I would assume there would be no replacements for the armor that they just eaten, since they probably have eaten all metal in this room already. Aye.
That second one was Geier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're all quite shaken from the encounter. Didn't expect your equipment to be at risk like this. And unfortunately, everything in this room is their corrosion ability.
I mean, this was clearly the man's workshop. You're telling me there's nothing of value left in here? And Evelyn kind of solemnly kicks at a random bit of debris with her stiletto.
Well,
Where did these damn beasts even come from?
I guess none of us ever really heard about them before.
I mean, what are they? Another of this another crazy experiment, or
Well, they don't look like they were stitched together, so I suppose they just crawled from whatever other thing they live in when the chaos took this place.
Evelyn sheathes the wand and she's going. Does anyone hurt? Does anyone need healing?
Only my pride.
Fine, but Emaírel is going to clear some workspace, put down his spear, and take a few minutes to try and fix it up.
1d4 hit points. Is that enough?
Nope, but that brings it above half. I don't know how broken works
Yeah, if
in regards to.
if you have the broken, if it has a broken, this condition is removed if the object is restored to at least half its hit
In that case, it's no longer broken.
point. Okay.
I assume your potent psychic powers can't do wonders for my armor.
I think that one is too far gone.
It's just a pile of chain links on the floor.
Well, we have seen miracles done already, so.
Oh wait, actually, well, it says magic items that are destroyed can be repaired. Does that mean that?
Restore their magic abilities?
Well, does that mean that regular objects that are destroyed can also be
No,
brought back
they're
to
magic
broken and then?
If it's destroyed, it's gone.
Well, Doctor, we'll have to keep an eye out for a new suit of armor for you. I'm sorry for your loss.
Well, I wasn't too attached to it, but I am very attached to my well-being.
Well, it's not attached to you at all anymore.
Yeah, Arronax is very
Sorry, that was a Geier. I should have switched voices for that. It's not attached to you at all anymore.
Yeah, Arronax will nervously clutch his shield extract once again.
So I take it that this is the rope bridge that we saw?
Yes. Correct.
Well, if there's
Perhaps, Doctor, you should avoid standing in the front line this time.
You do seem to have a knack for finding yourself close to the action.
Yes, it seems to be so. As the action finds me,
Can't you just replenish your mutagen?
Well, we don't.
It takes a day.
Don't really have time or the place here to work my magic.
Shall we move?
Yeah, let's move on. This place is trashed.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Okay.
Geier, I never realized you had more hit points than me. You should take the rear.
Well, that's undead fortitude of his, I suppose.
So you look out over that rope bridge beyond the scaffolding. Watch it swing out toward a 2-story building with a tower across the gorge. So it is quite far to traverse the bridge. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, something like 120 feet to get across.
Well, I don't even have like enough rope for that.
60 feet, sorry.
Just 60?
Yeah, just 60. Still pretty far.
Yep.
Does anyone else have rope?
I'm not sure.
Does a mesmerist kit come with rope?
Well, there is always a lot of rope on the rope bridge, so you can hold
Does
on
the
that.
workshop have any rope?
Want to give it another search? Because it's a mess. I mean,
It's a mess.
no rope, nothing usable. There's really nothing in this goddamned workshop except for that rod that was sitting here under the debris all this time.
Excuse me?
And it wasn't eaten.
Yeah, it wasn't even, it didn't get rusty, which really makes it stand out. And catches Emaírel's interest.
A magical rock?
Indeed, it is. Quite
Geier
strong.
has. Sorry, go ahead. I was just looking to see if Geier had any rope, and he has nothing.
I know.
The only thing, well, maybe, I don't know, maybe he keeps his own personal character sheet separate from this, but the only thing in his gear list is a bone taken from the scarecrow in Hergstag.
That
Well,
may
he's,
actually be accurate.
He led an ascetic life as a monk, so
No,
Actually,
I
I
mean,
take it back. He does have, he also has 50 feet of string and 50 feet of thread.
I believe he has another sheet.
as I said,
Yeah,
as
okay.
ascetic life.
Continue.
And nothing in his pockets but lint and shovel. All right, yeah, but you
Emerald,
find this rod that is strangely free of any rust, and it has these runes scratched into its surface. And detect magic tells you it is magic and quite a strong aura.
What kind of runes?
Arcane ones.
Can Evelyn interpret? Sorry, go ahead, Emaírel. Sorry.
well, I think Emerald is just going to hold it and try and read into it.
It just seems so overpowered to me. That's why I'm asking every time. You can do this as many times you want today.
Yeah, basically it's at will.
So you just always identify magic items, no matter the caster level or anything.
Yeah.
Only
Yeah, I think the only way to not identify.
is if it works. Okay.
Sorry, there's noise.
Yeah.
My
Thank you
neighbors
for
are doing.
muting it in time. Okay. So let me tell you what the rod of extinguishing does.
Rod of what?
The rod of flame extinguishing.
Oh.
It's a rod that can extinguish medium or smaller non-magical fires with simply a touch, which is a standard action. For the rod to be effective against other sorts of fires, so larger than medium, the wielder must expend one or more of the rod's charges. Extinguishing a large or larger non-magical or magic fire a size of medium or smaller, such as that of a flaming weapon or burning hands spell, expends one charge.
That's
So
pretty
you can
versatile, I see.
basically extinguish flaming weapons. Continual magic flames, such as those generated by a weapon or fire creature, are suppressed for 6 rounds and flare up again after that time. To extinguish an instantaneous fire spell, the rod must be within the area of the effect, and the wielder must have used a ready action, effectively countering the entire spell. That's pretty cool. Negate fireball, essentially.
Yep.
When applied to large or larger magic fires, such as those caused by fireball, flame strike, or wall of fire, extinguishing the flames expends 2 charges from the rod. If a rod of flame extinguishing is touched to a creature with a fire subtype by making a successful melee touch attack, the rod deals 66 points of damage to the creature. This use requires 3 charges. The rod has 10 charges, as you founded, and the spent charges are renewed every day.
That's pretty.
That's pretty.
It's kind of
Yeah.
circumstantial, but really cool item.
Yep.
Right, who's holding on to that?
You or Geier? Actually, I don't know. I don't know how rods work.
It doesn't sound like it takes. It doesn't take any sort of special ability to activate them, does it?
Those are scepter-like
doesn't-
devices that have unique magical.
Yeah.
Anyone could use.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have spells in it. It just has abilities.
Unless noted otherwise, you must be holding a rod to use its ability. That's the only thing that really.
I mean,
Maybe the
aside
doctor,
from-
since he knows all about fire and explosions.
I mean, I would say who's most likely to. Well, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty circumstantial, so we probably won't even be using it regularly unless we know we're going up against fire. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. Evelyn doesn't often have a lot of things in her hands, so she could, in theory, wield that pretty easily. But Geier, I think, Geier sometimes uses his wand. I think that's really it, right? He's got a shovel. Although I don't know what the dog.
Geier will take this rod and put a shovel blade on it.
That thing's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Should we? Do you want to hold on to it for now, Doctor?
I don't mind, as long as I can hold my extractive shield in my other hand. It should be alright. Well, okay, in that case I will write in the rod of flame extinguishing for myself for now.
Well, that was a lucky find. Unfortunately, it doesn't help us with the rope situation.
Indeed.
How
Well,
high above the water is this rope bridge?
180 feet.
Oh, yes.
And the fact that I had that ready to go should worry you.
Yeah, Evelyn's like standing there right at the edge, trying to detect magic as far out as she can.
Mm-hmm. So you watch the rope bridge sway in the wind that is howling through the gorge, and you're not really looking forward crossing that, because it definitely doesn't seem safe. And the aura you're detecting from the general area near the center of the bridge is certainly not encouraging. Knowledge Arcana.
Really not my forte.
No. Well, there is an aura. Not that much, but you can't quite tell from this far away.
Emaírel, you care to take a look at this? Or Geier, for that matter?
Emaírel, you see the spell, but it's
You get out there for a second.
you see the markings of a conjuration spell in that aura.
Oh, yeah.
Again.
Let's just throw a rocket at this and wait until it runs out. I really don't want to tangle with another air elemental.
The bridge is 5 feet wide?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And how solid does it look?
Not much, not very. It is clearly just supposed to be a like a
The temporary measure.
temporary solution, exactly. And it's obviously been here longer than whoever built it thought it would be. And with the wind making it swing back and forth, it certainly looks like a little bit of an acrobatic feat to get across.
Ah, damn it.
A bit of an acrobatic feat, you say? I think I know someone who could help with that. I don't know if Geier actually would use the spell to... I mean, I don't know. I guess he wouldn't summon monkeys. That's not really his style. He
So,
can summon some ravens, though, to go flying out there and try and trigger this thing.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Is that what he's gonna do?
Dr. Arronax, meanwhile, quietly put 2 and 2 together with Rod of Flame Extinguishing and a Conjuration spell on the other side.
Well, it sounds like a good plan. If we can force the thing to face us on solid ground, it would be better.
I suppose so. Listen, Emaírel, maybe it would be better if you hold on the Rod of Flame Extinguishing. Something tells me you would be the one in a better position to apply it. Should something happen tonight, right now, once we trigger it.
Okay.
All right. So is that what you do? You summon a raven and you let it fly towards the center of the bridge?
Yeah, sounds like the plan.
Okay. So you do that, and as soon as the raven gets to the center of the bridge, something changes in the quality of the air in the gorge, and you feel this sort of this kind of popping sound in your ears. When the next moment the raven just ignites into flames, and as you watch him, you realize that he was struck by a burning arrow. And as you look up to where that arrow must have come from, you spot a winged creature looking a little bit like an angel, but some calamity must have befallen this angelic warrior. Her wings stained black shear the air as her merciless eyes search for her next target. And she, as her eyes fall onto you standing at the edge of the bridge, she lets out a triumphant, shrieking war cry, and in an infernal yells something that you may or may not understand.
Nope.
Nope.
And at this point, I think we're gonna call it a night because I don't want to rush ahead too far without Alejandro.
Very well.